Hey, good morning and happy Friday from AlphaWolfTrading.com. I'm Tim and coming at you with the pre-market prep video, something I do each and every day for the pro members over at Alpha Wolf Trading, as well as market recaps, educational videos, all kinds of stuff for the pro members. If you're interested, come check it out. If you just want to receive our weekly stocks to watch for investing and trading that I send out every week, go to alphawolftrading.com and sign up to have that sent directly to your email for free every week. Pretty cool stuff. All right, interesting action out in the markets. And if you read the blog post, then you know that I am seeing some stuff out there that is in stocks and in sectors that is, a little bit concerning, some cautionary flags. I know that we're seeing, all-time highs in the Dow. We keep seeing these great headlines, but there's some underlying sectors that are sending out some caution flags. So it's extremely important that you have a trade plan for each and every trade or stock that you're invested in. Actually, I've kind of been raising some cash um, recently. August typically is, or out of the last 20 years, has been up only 5 times, and it would not hurt to raise a little bit of cash and lock in some profits so that if there is any kind of a drawdown in the markets, you've got some powder dry to be able to take advantage of those opportunities. Now, I'm not suggesting we're looking at an imminent crash. What I am suggesting is that if you have profits, it's probably not a terrible time to lock some in and have some powder on the sidelines. Um, so anyway, let's take a look at a few names for today. Different types of opportunities here. Looking at WTW, which crushed their earnings last night. Now this has been a very highly shorted name. It's had an amazing run, lower left, upper right. Actually, this is probably one of my biggest regrets of the year. I have this in the $16 range. I made some money in WTW, but not as much as I could have made. Obviously, I wasn't aggressive enough on my position sizing, and and I didn't hold it long enough. So should have at the very least kept some lottos, and I didn't do so. So huge run, beautiful lower left to upper right trend, pull back directly to the 50-day moving average. Uh, you know, could I mean perfect place for a potential bounce, right? We're gapping up this morning to it actually got up to about $40 last night, which is where we've got some potential price resistance, and it's pulling back to 38.40 um, currently. So I think there are potentially a day trading opportunity here. There could be a swing opportunity if you get a pullback to an area of support. I don't think that this trend is over. Right, we are way oversold, and I think that you could get a decent 2, 3, 4, 5 day run out of this stock, and maybe you look for an opportunity on a pullback. So we've got pivots at 35.17, 34.54. Maybe you look for an opportunity on a pullback to say $34 if it were to get there. If it doesn't pull to $34, um, and we take out 40 with conviction, I think that you could see a pretty nice move in WTW. So this $40 area is a big spot. This is a weekly time frame that we're looking at here. It's a big spot to take out, right? Back in 2013 and 2012 acted as support now acting as resistance. So take that out with some conviction. I think you get a nice little pop in WTW, and this is definitely one to work. Keep an eye on for either a day trading opportunity or even a swing consideration. So uh, GoPro, we're going to talk about that one real quick. Finally, want to put in a decent earnings report. Now, I am not looking at GoPro as a swing or long-term hold investment. I think that they are a hardware company that probably is going to continue to struggle, but that doesn't mean we can't take a quick scalp out of this one. Uh, so it popped up to $9.75 where it has some price resistance, acted as support, acting as resistance over here, uh, and pulling back. Right, so right now looking at $9.50, not a tremendous a lot of volume. This has got 27% short interest. I'm looking at this one potentially. You get a pullback to say 880. We got a pivot at actually 875, 856, 841. Maybe you pull back right to the 850 area even, where we've got some price support and resistance in that area, and you get a bounce for a scalp. Right, I'm thinking of a day trading opportunity, a bounce for a scalp. Um, Maybe it pulls back to the 200 day, right? In the $9 area, see if 9, nice round number, holds as support, could bounce there. But really, I'm just looking at GoPro for a day trading opportunity. Had some decent volume yesterday. I mean, look, and if you crush it, if you're able to take some profit on a pop, um, you want to hold some lottos, hold a few lottos, and see if you get maybe a 2 or 3 or 4 day run out of GoPro. But it has been kind of basing for a while, right? It had a little pop here and then consolidated just below. Keeps flirting with this 50-day moving average. Finally, looks like we're going to break out of that. Could be a 2 or 3 day run. So worth keeping an eye on GoPro for a day trading opportunity. ARWR reported earnings last night. It has kind of an interesting look on the daily, right? Big pop. It's pulled back. It's sitting at support of the 50 EMA. We are approaching oversold. Um, Another one that it could be a potential day trading opportunity, but the IBB has been a little weak lately, so we'll have to see what happens with the biotech space, the biotech sector. This got a little pop on no volume up to about $1.85, $1.84, um, and found some resistance there. It's pulled back. Like I said, not a lot of volume. You got to have some volume, some liquidity if you're going to look to trade this name. If it takes out, $1.90 with conviction, I think you get a two test and roll potentially, right? There is some resistance in that area, and then you've got the 200 day above at 225. So those could be a couple of targets, right? $2, you take some off and see if maybe you can get a test up into the 220 area. But we're another one that potentially has day trade opportunity in it. Kara reported last night, getting a little bit of a bounce this morning. Went up and tested 14 and change. A lot of moving averages to try and get through. A lot of potential resistance overhead. This is another one though that's got a pretty good short interest, right? 33% short interest, 26.9 million shares in the float. Um, Earnings giving it a little bit of a boost. And then the other thing that happened last night was on Fast Money, GWPH, Guy Adami making a pitch for that one. So maybe this space, right? ZYNE just had a little pop recently. So maybe this space is worth keeping an eye on here. It had a little pop here, but didn't get any follow through. Little reversal there. Um, so worth keeping an eye on this space, right? ZYNE, 11.3 million shares, 24% short interest. GWPH, let's take a look at that one. These are highly, higher risk speculative stocks. I mean, they're biotech companies that are also involved with marijuana, so they are definitely highly higher risk. GWPH kind of has a little bear flag thing going on there. Not a great look. Struggling with the 200-day moving average. You got the 50 below the 200-day, but worth keeping an eye on these for a potential trading opportunity. See if Kara, pulls back to 1350 or so. See if that acts as support, and you get a bounce. But scalp opportunity is what I'm looking for in those. FSTR going to bring. This is they reported last night. Looked like a great beat. And this is sitting right on the 100 EMA. This is a small float, 8.4 million shares in the float. Not a big short interest. What has been happening there in the 13 and change range, there is a tremendous amount of insider buying in this name. We actually played this name at Alpha Wolf after this double bottom way back here a while back, and it was a nice trade for us. Uh, could have been a nicer trade, but FSTR, pretty nice looking setup for potential support bounce. And let me see what it's doing in pre-market FSTR. 1750. It's not really reacting to the news that it had. So, look for some volume. This only traded 84,000 shares yesterday, so that's an issue, right? From liquidity standpoint, being able to get in and out. You don't want to do a tremendous amount of size in this one, but this could be an interesting, potential interesting swing if it were to pull back, in my mind, into this $15 range, test this 200-day, I would be back in this for a swing or a longer term hold consideration. Uh, Earnings appear to be heading in the right direction. This is a turnaround story. So worth keeping an eye on FSTR either for a swing on a pullback or any kind of a volume break over, say, 1750, right? If we could take out 1750 with some volume, could get a scalp opportunity out of there. And look, just to go up and test potential price resistance 850, right? That's a buck. So I think it's there's either, like I said, a potential day trade or swing trade opportunity in FSTR. SPPI biotech name reported earnings last night. It did get a little bit of a pop. Let's take a look. SPPI got up to $8.30 basically, and that is an area of resistance. It's if we back this out to the weekly time frame, that's a big area of resistance that it's trying to get through. This is so if we can take out 830, I think maybe you get a test up into the $9.30 range, right? That's a dollar. It's pulled back to the 50-day moving average. It's oversold. Stochastic starting to curl up. Um, Maybe what we look for on SPPI is a pullback to somewhere around 775, 750, and see if that holds as support for a bounce, quick day trade opportunity, and you just go back up and test that 830, 750 to 830, and that's a pretty nice little pop, right? So we look for that for a day trading opportunity because of the fact that it is a biotech and bios are struggling a little bit. I think it's probably best to look at this one just as a day trade. Um, DVAX is pulling back. Looks like they had some news that the FDA is looking for more information. So that this just had a panel that voted in favor of their drug, and now you got the FDA requesting more information. It pulled back to $15 and actually basically to $15, and now it's bouncing a little bit. It's at 16. Not a tremendous amount of volume there. I think it's I mean, there's a big gap on the daily to fill here. It is overbought. There could be a day trading scalp opportunity in there. Maybe it pulls back into this $14.50, $15 area. Again, maybe you get another bounce opportunity for a scalp, but worth keeping an eye on that one for a like I said, just a scalp opportunity, intraday setup. ESNT. This has got a nice looking daily. Lower left, upper right, just reported earnings, and it looked like a decent earnings report. It was not doing a whole lot in pre-market. Only 76 million shares in the float. Let's see if it's doing anything now. ESNT got a little bit of a pop, and then it looks like it's pulled back actually a little bit to $37. Hold on a second here. 37 would be right back to this trend line. That would be potentially a great spot to bounce from. Um, if it breaks below that trend line, if it breaks below the 100 EMA, then maybe we have some issues. But this would be a great place to bounce from at 37. It looked to me like earnings were pretty decent, unless their guidance was poor. And they reported 77 cents versus 70 cents. Net premiums. So this is probably one to keep an eye on for a bounce off of that $37 mark if it pulls back. Potential day trading opportunity there as long as you've got some volume. EPZM, they reported this morning. That was getting a little bit of action. Let's take a look at that one. 48 cents loss versus 55 cents, 10 million versus 2 points. So they beat on top line. NCIA initiated. Okay, so actually, this one day trade only got up to about $14.70 in pre-market here. Let's see where that puts us. Puts us at an area of resistance. See, support, resistance. So 1470, kind of a big area to try and get through. I don't think I would chase that. Look for a pullback, maybe to an area of support, someplace like 1350, maybe even in the $14 round number. See if $14 holds up as support. Actually, it's already pulled back. Looks like the 13. Let's see, where is it at? It's at 14. Maybe 1375. See if 1375. You get a pull there, and see if that acts as support. Could be a scalp opportunity, bounce trade. Uh, it's sitting right on top of 14 right now. 1350 is a pivot, so maybe you look for a pullback to 1350 to see if you get a bounce. But could be a day trading opportunity there in EPZM. And it did trade 378,000 shares yesterday, so not too bad. There is some liquidity there, worth keeping an eye on. Yelp, gapping, selling off a a division to Groupon, or no, Grubhub. Somebody gapping off of that news. It's at 37.50 in pre-market. Where's that put us? $37.50. So that's a pretty big gap. You got the 200-day moving average right around 24.50 or 34.50. I'm sorry, 34.50. That could be a pullback and bounce spot, right? what do we have? 76 million shares in the float, 13% short interest. Looking maybe as a day trading opportunity only. Um, really think that that could be the spot, right? Pull back to the 200 day. Maybe there's a decent bounce opportunity there. Or $36 even. Looks like we had some resistance at 36. Nice round number to pull back to, see if it'll hold the support for a bounce. But just a day trading opportunity there with Yelp. Snap, another one that is a potential day trading opportunity. A little reversal candle yesterday. It was on fast money last night. Brian Kelly, Guy Adami talking about it. Maybe you get a 13 test and roll. Just looking at a trade in Snap, not to own it. I mean, it could be a higher risk lotto type swing, but worth keeping an eye on Snap for a potential day trade. AAOI, that is getting crushed after, I think, disappointing guidance, right? Decent earnings, but fairly disappointing guidance. This is already gapping down significantly. I think this actually could present a decent short opportunity. It's had an amazing run in a short period of time, and it looks like things are maybe slowing down for this company here. Uh, it's at 72 and change right now, 72.10. Now you may get an initial bounce, but as that comes up into maybe $75, $76 area, if it were to bounce like that, I think maybe you look to take a short position there. Be very careful with AAOI, but huge short position, 60% short, 18.2 million. I think those shorts are still underwater. So, um, if this thing breaks below $70, it could get ugly pretty quick. So, uh, worth keeping an eye on. AAOI. Could it get a bounce? Absolutely. I would not hold it overnight. All right. Um, let's just go ahead and end this with SIRI. So this had a nice breakout off of earnings, off of a key price area, $5.50. Finally broke through it, pierced the upper Bollinger Band, pulling back. I think this, if it pulls back into this $5.50 range, I think this is a great opportunity to potentially get into Sirius for more of a long-term hold position. I probably would not take my full position at 550. It gets down here, I probably would look to take a starter position at 550, and I may look to add to the position over time. If it were to get down to $5.38 or so, or $5, um, I would add. I would add to this position. It's a big, thick stock. 1.5 billion shares in the float. 17% short interest. Um, like I said, I think 550 could be an interesting place to start, right? Because it was an area of resistance that finally broke through. So now you look for that to hold the support. If if you lose that support, then potentially you come down and you test these moving averages down here. It is in a uptrend, lower left to upper right, big thick stock. I'll build my position out over time. If the overall market rolls over and this goes with it, because 90% of stocks are going to follow the market, I'll be more than happy to build a decent sized position in Sirius for the long haul. All right, so I'm going to end it with that. I will have a full list of stocks to watch for next week for trading and investing. Like I said, if you're interested in getting that video, go over to alphavwolftrading.com and sign up to get that sent to your email directly for free. Um, Today, keep an eye on things like TZA. IWM did not have a nice look on on the chart yesterday. Um, Small caps. So if small caps continue to weaken, TZA could present a day trading opportunity. Um, Keep an eye on volatility, TVIX, UVXY, and also keep an eye on LABD. If the IBB breaks down, the big spot for LABD, $7. It's been trying to get through there. It's tapped it and tapped it and tapped it, and it has not been able to break through with conviction. But you know, if this winds up taking out 7, it can stay above, closes above, right? I think maybe you get a test up into the 50 SMA, 750 or so. But if you know, this thing can start ripping. It is overbought. Um, but if by chance the IBB really breaks down, and if it takes out, you know, the $300 level, then you're likely going to see a pretty nice pop in LABD. And 7 is the spot. It tried to take it out the other day, couldn't follow through, right? And there is going to be that resistance right there with the 50-day moving averages, but worth keeping an eye on. I'm gonna one more. I'm gonna do one more. And full disclosure, I do have a little position in this. I had a bigger position in this, but I sold off half of it because I can't get their investor relations department to respond to an email that I've sent like 3 or 4 emails. So that really irritates me. But this IDXG it's oversold. They've had some good news recently, and it has not gotten any kind of reaction from that at all. So I think, you know, this one is. I don't know when their earnings are. Let's see, that was July 27th. I don't know when their earnings are. Might have to wait for earnings, but you know, this appears to be basing out here. I do have a position. I'm looking for it to take out the $1 holla, potentially go up and fill that gap. I think you'll have some resistance right around a buck 25, but I do think a potential gap fill is in order. It is basing. It is oversold. You get a $1 test and roll. Could be a day trading opportunity. Could be a higher risk swing. So you play that size appropriate. But worth keeping an eye on IDXG. And that's it. I'm wrapping it. Good luck trading today. Have a plan. Don't chase. We get GDP numbers today. Actually, they may be out any minute. Not GDP, but jobless numbers. Employment situation. We'll see what that does. Could set the tone for the markets, and then we'll just go ahead and do this real quick. Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing. Gold is basically flat. Oil basically flat. The dollar flat, right? But and the markets are really equities markets are kind of flat. Uh, don't chase. Have a plan. Know your risk reward. Uh, and that's it. Good luck trading today. Best of success, and I'll see you all next week.